We go in the huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is driven by Mills Fleet Farm. From Tanner's Sports Grill in Kimberly, here is Justin Hall with Packers offensive tackle David Bakhtiari.
And good evening to you from Tanner's Sports Grill in Kimberly. We are in the Huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network. Good to be along with you tonight as we have Packers left tackle, one of our co-hosts, David Bakhtiari, along with us. And David, I'm happy to say this for the first time this year. Me and you get to talk about a victory.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Yesterday, 19-17 over the defending Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens. Go on the road, get that first road victory. It's got to feel pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was awesome. I think they hadn't lost there against an NFC team, in 30 games or, 30-something. So it was awesome, to pull a W there.
I think it was 14-0 at home against NFC teams. I think that was John Harbaugh's record, if I'm not mistaken. Or
yeah,
it might have been more than that.
Something with a 30 in it. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is that it was good, and we came out to win.
Great to get the victory, and a lot of positives from yesterday's game. And we're going to do this early tonight and welcome in our guest, our running back second-round pick out of Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Lacy. Thanks for coming out, Eddie.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Now that cheer, and this is kind of a big thing to say, but Packer fans have been waiting a long time for a running back like Eddie Lacy.
Yeah. I heard that a few times. I read a lot on Twitter. It was pretty cool.
Well, 120 yards for you yesterday. First 100-yard game. Last week, 99. I'm sure being that close, you're kind of chomping at the bit to get back out there and try to post that 100-yard game.
Yeah, last week I really didn't know I was that close to it. If we wouldn't have kneeled on the last play and just ran it one more time, I would have had it, but I was not aware of it. But, to come out and have a game that I had, yesterday, did a lot for my confidence.
Have you noticed that? I mean, what a running game means, I guess, to the team and whatnot. You're going out there trying to win, but I guess for fans wanting to see that, being able to run the football, have you been able to grasp what that actually does mean?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I know we pass the ball a lot here, which is good, but being able to run the ball, as successfully as we have been, I feel as though it adds another dimension, and I guess that's what everyone's been waiting on.
And I'm sure, David, you can talk about that too, because I know as offensive linemen, some of your buddies there have been answering questions for years about trying to get running game going, but to be able to have, we'll call it 4 weeks in a row with a 100-yard rusher, because 99 is close enough.
Yeah.
4 weeks in a row with a 100-yard rusher for a team that went 44 games, regular season games, between 100-yard rusher. I know that's a badge of honor for you guys.
It feels really good. Me and Eddie were talking about it before even the show came on about the play with Jordy Nelson. He said, I really didn't even notice it, but he said when we ran our play fake, they were in cover 2 deep, and because of the respect for the run, he saw the safeties bite. He even knew before he saw the safeties bite. He knew there was going to be a big play downfield. So that just that's attributes to his success in the run game, and because he's having success, I get to kind of ride on the coattails, as an offensive lineman.
So you're going through that hole without the ball, and you see the safeties coming up. You got a big smile on your face, knowing where Jordy's going to be, down the field with nobody on him.
Of course, that's 6 points. We need that.
Well, one thing too, David, I do want to bring it up. We're talking about the offensive line and your job in the running game. The pass protection. Where are you guys at there? I know Rodgers been sacked 14 times. Is that a work in progress? Is that a big emphasis for you guys here?
We all want to keep Rodgers upright. That's the biggest thing. We want to get a running game going. We just got to work on certain things. Obviously our running game's going really well, but we also need to make sure Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback, and we need to keep him upright, and that's a big thing. And it's a continuous thing. It's not something that's just gonna is gonna happen. It's continuous work at it all year. All year round to make sure that he's okay. But I think we're doing a really good job, and it helps with the run game too.
As a lineman, where's that balance? Pass protecting, run protecting. It almost seems like it's a there's a balance there, trying to be able.
We're
to
trying to give the
both.
fans what they want. I mean, you guys asked for a run game. We're trying to give you a run game, and then we got to make sure to keep Aaron upright. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just trying to get the W. That's the most important thing, and that's what we accomplished this past weekend.
Defensively, A.J. Hawk, 3 sacks yesterday. Clay Matthews is going to be out reportedly up to a month. So a lot of question was, where's the pass rush going to come? A.J. Hawk stepped up. Nick Perry, Mike Neal, a great game before Perry obviously went down. But really seeing that defensively, seeing what your guys are able to do, in the absence. We've been talking about this all year long. Next man up, and yesterday was another case of that.
Oh, yeah. I think Aaron said, you tribute to Coach Capers. He said, if the defense can hold any team to 15 points, we'll put ourselves in a great chance of winning every game. He said he would love that. So, I agree. I mean, our defense has been playing lights out these past 2 weeks, and I hope it continues forward every week because it helps us out.
How about for you, Eddie, going up against these guys in practice? Some people at the beginning of the season questioned how physical the defense was, if they were tough enough or whatnot. I think that has been proven that they are. But you hear that and knowing what you've seen going up against these guys day in, day in practice, it's a pretty tough group back there, isn't it?
They are, and they do a good job of practicing the way they're going to play in the game. So, coaches preach, practice the way you want to play, and on those Sundays when we go out, it shows up.
And they get you ready too. I mean, that's a big thing to remember on the defensive side of things. You guys are at practice getting each other ready, so what you guys do offensively is a good sign on defense, and what you guys do defensively is a sign of the offense getting you ready.
Right. We do a good job of getting each other ready. We practice hard, and, by the time we get to the game, that should be the easy part.
Mason Crosby, are you aware of what he went through last year at all?
I heard some turmoil.
It was probably to the point where I think 95% of Packer Nation wanted a different kicker.
Really?
I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. This year, that guy has pretty much proven his worth and his value the first few weeks of the season, and it's great to see a guy like that. I'm sure a fellow.
I was gonna say, I'm a
Colorado guy
so
like you.
I'm on his side to begin with. But I mean, it's good. He's been kicking really well. He basically kicked us into a W against the Detroit. So keep him coming.
Yeah, yesterday too, 4 field goals, 4 of 5, had the redemption one before the half was, before he went into the halftime locker room after missing one, got the ball back, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. And we will meet our guest a little bit more too. Coming up, Eddie Lacy with us, David Bakhtiari. We are in the huddle from Tanner Sports Grill here in Kimberly on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here at Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, and the huddle returns on the Woodward Radio Network. In the huddle brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. Our Packer co-host today, David Bakhtiari, along with special guest running back out of Alabama, Eddie Lacy. Want to remind you, too, later on in the show, you can ask our panel questions. If you go to Facebook, facebook.com/In the Huddle Show, you can like us on Facebook and submit your questions there. Or if you're on Twitter, @In the Huddle Show, all one word, and you can tweet your questions there. Our Brew Pub Pizza Ask the Player segment coming up in a little bit. Well, we'll find out more about our guest now, Eddie Lacy, the Packers' second-round pick. Take us back to draft day, Eddie, and your story of finding out you were coming to Green Bay.
Well, I was in New York for the draft for the first day, and I had intentions on staying the whole time, but while I was there on the first day, my phone rang like 2 or 3 times, but it was the wrong table each time. So I got kind of frustrated, and I was like, well, I'm not going to stay tomorrow. I'm going to just go back to Alabama. So when I landed in Alabama, I turned my cell phone on, and it was Green Bay calling me, and that's how I figured out where I was going.
Were you nervous that you missed the call? That maybe, they called you and you didn't have the phone on, and did they actually take me?
Yeah, I was, but then I was like, well, I'll just look at Twitter first to see. I'll figure out. I'll find out that way, but, as soon as I turned my cell phone on, they was calling.
It was probably instant follows, too. You probably went from a certain number to a certain number as soon as that package.
I don't know, it steadily progresses.
Okay. We'll talk more about that actually coming up in the wild card segment,
Nice.
Twitter and the National Football League, but how about Green Bay? Were you aware that you were on their radar, and did you see this as kind of a fit?
I wasn't aware at all. I think if I met with him, it was at the combine when you meet with a bunch of different teams. But other than that, that was probably the only time I've spoken with him.
Did you do some research? Did you know a lot about the Packers, or was it just kind of fly up here and see what's going to happen?
That's exactly what it was.
Well, and to bring this up too, I mean, playing football at Alabama, you guys kind of a big deal down there with Alabama football, right?
Yeah, year in and year out, Alabama always has a good team, both offensively and defensively. So, to come from, a place like that to come here, it's pretty much the same, just the next level.
Ending up in Alabama, you're from Louisiana. How'd you end up in Alabama? Because I understand, Alabama, Louisiana, a little bit of a tension, rivalries down in SEC land.
Yeah, I tend to do what I want to. I just wanted to get out of the state of Louisiana. I was tired of being there, and the first opportunity I got to leave, I took it. Can
you take us through the Katrina story? I know it gets brought up a lot. I know they E60 on you, and you probably talk it there, but everything you went through, and I could kind of it shows just how strong you are here today.
Like the whole story, like
you can do like a 60 second.
Okay, let's see. We left the day before, moved to Texas. We stayed in a hotel until we ran out of money. Then we moved to Baton Rouge with my aunt, where it was like 4 different families in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. What else? My mom found a share your home program where there's people who, let people who were affected by the storm stay with them until they pretty much get back on their feet. So we did that until my parents saved up enough money to buy this trailer. And and then I stayed in the trailer.
And that's where you ended up, Dutchtown High School in Louisiana?
Yeah.
I think, going through everything that you did, this football thing's got to be easy now, right?
I wouldn't say easy, but it's definitely not that bad.
David, what was your first impression of Eddie? Obviously, I'm sure you get in and you hear names that you're going to, and Aaron Rodgers, Clay Matthews. I know you knew him beforehand, but when you look at the college spectrum, guys like Eddie's name were big names last year in the college world, and here you are, you're joining forces to bring a Super Bowl to Green Bay.
Yeah, he played at Alabama, so I knew he was good. But it wasn't until I got here, I even came up to him and told him, I'm like, man, you have no idea how much I appreciate having like a good running back who knows what he's doing, like opening up the holes. Like, remember we had that discussion about it? I was like, man, like makes my job, makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. Because at Colorado, it was just like everything was everywhere. You don't know I didn't know where anyone was going to go, what holes he wanted to go to. So, I was like, man, thank you. It made me feel like so much better. And then, he's an awesome guy. I got to know him through the time. And before I was like, man, Eddie, from Louisiana, David from California. I wonder how that's going to work out. And then, he's a good buddy of mine. He's cool.
If you were that excited, with Eddie and everything, how excited were you with Aaron Rodgers too?
I kind of know that Aaron's he's gonna keep to himself, and if he wants to talk to me, I'll listen. But I'm not gonna be the guy who's really gonna go up and talk to him. He's kind of he's up there.
How about for you, Eddie, too? Coming in and, A.J. McCarron, a big name, college football, you've been, around a lot of NFL players. But, you come to the NFL, and there is Aaron Rodgers. He is your quarterback. You're lining up behind number 12, a Super Bowl champion, MVP.
Oh, that was crazy, man. I remember the first time we actually practiced with him. We was in a huddle, and I only knew a few plays, it was at the beginning. And he called the running play in my head. I'm like, I'm trying not to smile. I'm in the huddle with Aaron. I'm like, But he called a play that I actually knew, and I was like, okay, I'm about to get a handoff from Aaron. And right before he snaps it, he audibles to a play that I don't know what it is. So he audibles the play, and then quick snaps it while I'm turned around trying to ask the coach what the play is. And so he runs the play out, and he's like, oh, come on, rookie. So That was my first Aaron Rodgers moment.
You gotta learn quick.
Yeah. Nice welcome to the NFL moment there for you, Eddie. The rookie class, too. And, David's been bringing a lot of guys, but, we talk about the running game, and I think Jonathan Franklin, too, out of UCLA. I know you guys were roommates in training camp as well. It must have been nice to have, another back in that situation, kind of roommates and whatever, to, bounce ideas off each other's heads, study the playbook and whatnot, and, go out there and bring that running game to Green Bay that the fans have been starved for.
Yeah, Franklin, he's a real great guy, too. We was roommates since the first day we all had to report out, and I really didn't know how that would work out. We both rookies, both trying to play for the same spot. He don't know how I am, and I don't know how he is. But from the first time we actually had to sit together, it's like we just clicked. It was like a friendship that we've been had, even though we just met each other. And we was able to sit down and we'll watch film together, figure out different ways to remember plays, and since then we just been good friends.
Is that how it was? Well, you were roomed with JC.
Yeah,
we
were.
And then you got your own room, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Did you know that? He had his own room in training camp?
Wait, say that again?
He had his own room in training camp?
Oh, not bad.
I was still
you talk about me. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Nice. I mean, we had hung out for, I think, about like a week and a half. And then once he broke his foot, he was out of the, even in the hotel room. And then I didn't get this good a treatment when we were at training camp, but he was on the first floor where they have like the brand new fresh beds because he couldn't go upstairs or anything. So I was like, man, I really hope they have me rooming with him. That'd be awesome. And then I ended up being up on the third floor by myself, which was all right. But those mattresses are kind of But they're not like the first floor.
I guess as rookies, though, I mean, going in kind of like Eddie was talking about, where here you guys are, you're competing for roster spots, but at the same time, I'm sure there's that bond that's there that, you guys are the same class. You're learning in together, coming in, and helping this team out at the same time.
I mean, yeah, especially being like we're both fourth rounders, too. That's a big thing, coming in. And I know he's getting healthy, he's coming back, and I think he was supposed to actually run today. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, he's pup list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we'll get to our Compass Land Consultants injury report a little bit later on in the show before we get out of here. And a lot of injury news coming out of Green Bay today. We'll get to that, like I said, a little bit later on. Up next, though, let's do our wild card segment. As I brought up Twitter and today's athlete in Twitter, I want to talk a little bit about that, get into that, and what the team tries to tell you not to do. And see what you're willing to talk about that. But we got David Bakhtiari, Eddie Lacy with us as we are in the huddle here from Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly on the Woodward Radio Network. And welcome back in the huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network. In the huddle brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm, along with David Bakhtiari and Packers running back Eddie Lacy. Justin Hull with you. Transportation for our guests provided by LNS Classic Limousine Service. Lenny and Sue, the best around. Lenny's actually in the house when I said hi to Lenny this week. He gave me the business last week. Before we go on, we have to say a couple weeks late, but a happy 22nd birthday to Mr. Bakhtiari.
Thank you.
What'd you get for your birthday?
Nothing.
You got the bye week. You got some time off.
I got a bye week. But, I mean, it was really common to do much. I got my best friend in the house right here. So me and Max just went out to dinner, and then we went to the casino. And I just lost some money, and then I was like, well, what else am I going to do? I don't want to do anything too crazy, so I just went to the casino, lost some money, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll go to bed now. That's about it.
That's exciting.
No cake either, which was, I guess my mom was even mad at me. She's like, you didn't get cake for yourself? I'm like, not really.
Eddie would have brought you a cake.
Yeah, man, should have told her.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I had no idea.
Did you eat it for me?
On the way.
Here's the empty tray where the cake used to be. There you go.
It was.
Time right now for our
that counts.
That's it.
Yeah.
Time right now for our wild card segment, where we like to do something a little bit fun, a little off the path. First, I got to start with you, David. If I said the big germ, you'll get the joke in a second here. What does the big germ mean?
So TJ and Josh, when I first got in, they were like, all right, we got to come up with a nickname for you. I was like, okay, all right. And then Josh just went on a tangent because I had my hair like just in a ponytail, so it was all just wheeling around while we're doing our IPW conditioning. And then he's like, I see you, big germ, big worm, big perm, and just start going off all these little erms. And then everyone just started just calling me Big Germ, and then kind of just stuck as Big Germ. So I still don't even really get it because I don't really know where the germ comes from. But I mean, it's what Josh says. Josh, it goes.
I heard the other side of that. I might inform you on something here.
Wait, something new?
Apparently, nobody knew how to pronounce Bakhtiari, and it sounded like bacteria. And from there, it turned into the Big Germ. That's the side of the story I heard.
Nice.
Well, aside of that story was, I did have an experience, I think, when I was playing soccer back in my heyday. The guy was calling my name, and he said, David, he's like, is David Bakhtiari here? And I was like, oh my God, he just called me Bacteria. And that's like the only time anyone's called me that. And then I think I might have told them that story after they called me Big Germ. I think that's the reason why I also stick to. But yeah, either way, it's just it's a funny name.
Okay, I had to bring that up. You have a nickname yet, Eddie?
Out here, nah.
No. Is that good?
It's normal, I guess.
We'll keep it that way then. So.
Yeah, let's leave it like that.
How about Twitter? Because I think Twitter it's an interesting social media invention that has, I think, really changed how, I guess, fans can interact with you guys, follow you guys, really see what's going on. But at the same time, it's gotten some people in trouble over the years and what have you. But you guys you're both on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Big Twitter guys, you like checking, seeing what's going on, seeing what everybody's doing?
When I'm bored, I go on there for a little bit.
What did they tell you about Twitter coming in as rookies? Did social medias get brought up at all?
I mean, you just have to be responsible. I mean, you're an adult. You're a pro on this level, and you have to know what you can and cannot say, what issues you can and cannot discuss.
Was it easy to figure out which ones were and were not?
It was kind of like a norm, I guess, like just kind of known, like, all right, you can talk about this, don't talk about that. Kind of like, it was a lot of the same lines, like guidelines that were like in college, don't say things about the opponent or whatever, don't try and direct things, kind of be as vague as possible sometimes. Don't talk about injuries, this, that, and the other.
Do you get a lot of, I don't know, it's called critics, people that come on there and, say some not too fun things to you? You laughed at me. You get people coming on there trying to, like fans coming on trying to trash talk you on Twitter.
Yeah, people looking to hate me. They're just waiting.
You have majority of people who, they tweet you, they're going to say something positive or motivating for you. And, there's others who's, if you're not doing so well or, you do something that's not good, then they're going to come in and pretty much say whatever they want to you. And, it's just the fact that you want to say something back, but you can't. I think that's what get a lot of people, but, you do get a lot of people who say stuff that's really unnecessary.
I think it'd be fun to, show up at people's houses that tweet you and just kind of have, hey, remember when you send me this message? just to see what they would say to your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do get the high behind the social media.
Yeah.
They feel more comfortable they can say something like that, because I'm pretty sure at least 3/4 of the people wouldn't say some of the things that negatively they do on social media they would in person.
I got to bring this up, too, for David. I saw this. Those that are familiar with Twitter, the hashtag Team Bakhtiari. Instead of Bakhtiari, Blocktiari. Team Block. You got a little Twitter marketing going on there.
Yeah, someone tweeted me early, like before I didn't even know who I was, playing with the Packers. and he was like, man, I'm on your side, hashtag Team Bakhtiari. I was like, that's really creative. He's like, I'm going to make a sign and bring it to the game or something. I was like, I really like that. And then it's just happening. And then I started jumping on his bandwagon with myself, saying Team Bakhtiari. So hopefully I can just build it up, keep going.
Get a website, make some T-shirts. I mean, you can
get some more. I got to get some more followers up. Louisiana. Got a few more than me.
You got any fun Twitter things? Little things that you do, or nothing you can share? Okay.
No.
How about Facebook, or is Facebook just well beyond anything anymore?
Yeah, I don't really do Facebook no more.
No.
Yeah, I've had it just because, but I don't really use it that much.
It's all in the Twitter world?
Yeah, it's more like family.
Okay. Because I know with this one, too, do you have any long-lost friends that come out of the woodwork, people that try to friend you on Facebook? Hey, remember when we were in second grade together and blah, blah, blah?
No, I mean, some friends I met I went to school with when I was younger, they say stuff on, like, Facebook, but nothing. I mean, no one, like you said, no one calling me, asking me for money or anything like that.
How about you, Eddie? You got any friends from back home or not so close people from back home that think they're your friend?
Yeah, I get a lot of that on Facebook. A lot of girls. We went to 5th grade together. Cool. It's all cool.
So, all right. Well, we got our coming up here our Brew Pub Pizza Ask the Players segment, and then we're going to let Eddie go. And I got this one for you, Eddie. I want to ask you about playing at Alabama. How would you compare the two? Now that you've been in Green Bay for a few months, you know, Alabama, national championships, all that. I mean, is there a lot of similarities between the two, or are they pretty much different?
It's similar. I think a big difference is the coaching staff. You know, at Alabama, everybody was like just on you 24/7, you know, hollering and screaming, trying to get you to do this and that. But, you know, on this level, you know, the coaches are a lot more laid back. They still expect the same out of you, but they're just not hollering and screaming all the time. And, you know, it's more of a communication thing on this level than, you know, back in college where it's just demand, and you doing.
How about one more for you here with that? You sat behind Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson. I think it says a lot. I mean, to how patient you are, the willingness to win, the want to win, to go to a school like that and know that your time is going to come, sit there and put in the work, bust your tail for how many years before that opportunity comes?
Well, for me, you know, I went there because I figured, you know, if you go to a place where you have to compete for a job, you know, you have two guys that's already better than you. You have to work to get that spot, and it'll make you better versus going to somewhere where you could just start off the bat and you're not really competing because you already have the spot.
Yeah, I think different mentalities, too. Some people want to go in and play right away. Others are, you know, willing to take that role that Eddie did and kind of sit, wait, and get better and then take advantage of that opportunity. One more segment to go here with Eddie Lacy, the Green Bay Packer running back, David Bakhtiari with us. More In the Huddle coming up here on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here at Tanner's Sports Grill in Kimberly in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm, David Bakhtiari and Eddie Lacy, our Packers guests along with us here as we get ready for our Ask the Player social media segment, which is brought to you by Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza. The new Brew Pub Pizza specifically designed with the hungry person in mind. It's big, it's bold, it's outrageously delicious. Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza made with premium meats and veggies, topped with over a half pound of Wisconsin mozzarella cheese. It's the good stuff. The mozzarella cheese here from Wisconsin. You guys like the Wisconsin cheese?
You know, I've never tasted it yet.
We have to get Eddie some Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza.
My bad. I heard of like cheese
just
curds.
run for 120 yards next week and it'll be okay.
And okay, yeah. All right, cool. That's a deal.
Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza. You can get it at your local grocer. Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza. Experience a truly great pizza. Got some questions that come in through the Facebook and through the Twitter. Want to go ahead and share with you. First one coming in from the Twitter from Eric. This one's for you, Eddie. People always debate this, but how would Alabama fare versus the worst team in the National Football League?
Oh, man. Even when I was in Alabama, a lot of people say, like, we should play whoever the worst NFL team was, but you know, I don't know, man. I don't have an answer for that. It may be a good game.
What do you think about that, David?
I mean, the way I see it, and I was in a different college team, so I don't know how it is at Alabama, but I mean, even the worst NFL team, you're having guys they're playing in the NFL for a reason. You have first rounders across the board. So, I mean, I would have to say an NFL team. That's just because they're there for a reason. But I mean, I'm not taking discredit away. I think Alabama's really good football
I
team.
agree with you, man.
Hey, man.
We're on the same page here.
All right, we'll get to our next question from Craig on Twitter. Would you rather the Packers play in London or be featured on HBO's Hard Knocks?
Who, me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Play in London or be on Hard Knocks?
I play in London. I've never been to London before. That'd be cool.
How about you, Eddie?
Probably the same thing. I'll go to London to sightsee.
Yeah.
No, it's a business trip. But I mean, with the time.
But while you're going to practice, you could sightsee.
Yeah, exactly.
If you were playing in London, how do you think Coach McCarthy would? I guess going into a week like that, would it be a business trip? Would you maybe go there a couple of days, go see Big Ben and the London Bridge, and I don't know what else is over in London?
I think he would be serious about it, but at the same time, he would respect us as not only players, but as people, and let us kind of see the spot, but also know that it's a business trip. But I think he'd be fair if they kind of split it down, give us some downtime to go experience London for guys, because I'm assuming a lot of us have never been there before.
How about Hard Knocks? What do you think of that? Have you seen the show? You're familiar with it? And I would just want to see how Ted Thompson and Mike McCarthy would handle the spotlight on Hard Knocks. I think that would be the best part about it.
But
Oh, what?
no, you got it, man.
He's
you know more about it than I do.
I mean, I think it would be funny too, but
no, you wouldn't want to be on it, Hard Knocks, after seeing it or not?
I would rather play in London. I mean, you gave me two sides. I'd rather choose,
I know. I'm trying to move on to the Hard Knocks side of things.
I mean, I wouldn't mind being on Hard Knocks, but I would rather be in London.
Okay. We got a next question. This one's coming from Lynn on Facebook. Wondering if players wear pink for somebody special, or how do you get the pink stuff? Do you guys have to buy that, or do the NFL teams have a big thing of pink gloves, pink shoes, and if you want to wear it, you can?
You got this one? You good?
For me personally, I don't have anyone who was affected, by breast cancer. So, I don't wear it for me personally, but there are people who's out there who is affected by it. So, just to show them that I know what you're going through, and just to represent them.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing. I have anyone immediate that was affected by it, but I like to wear just kind of represent. That's something that's nice to do, and then we get it. Our team generally gives them out. I mean, I know the team's giving me some cleats. I'm not really. I kind of have OCD when it comes to changing cleats up, but I mean, they gave me some gloves and some tape, so I kind of work that into my game.
What do? They sell that and then for charity? Is that how that works?
I don't know that part. I just
Okay.
know that it's kind of like showing that we're caring or
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to our next question here, our last one. This is from Jake. If you weren't playing football, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
Is it you or is it me?
Jake from State Farm.
It could be Jake from State Farm.
What are you doing at 3 a.m? What are you wearing? Khakis?
Yeah.
She sounds hideous. Well, she's a dude, so.
We might turn this into a segment. David acts out a commercial every week. That could be fun.
That would be funny. What would I be doing right now? Oh, man.
Do you got one, Eddie?
Yeah, I would actually be a fireman.
I'm surprised we didn't hear more ladies yell on that one. The ladies love the fireman.
I don't know too much about that part, but it's pretty much like an adrenaline job, and I don't know. I'm just fascinated by being able to run through a house on fire or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, Packers running back Eddie Lacy, our guest tonight. I know Eddie's going to get out of here. Thank you so much for coming. All the best to you the rest of the season, all right?
Thanks for having me, man.
All right. Packers running back Eddie Lacy. We'll finish up with David Bakhtiari when we bring it back here from Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly. We are in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here at Tanner's Sports Grill in Kimberly in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. Along with Packers left tackle David Bakhtiari. A big thanks once again for Eddie Lacy stopping out tonight, our player guest.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
He's a great guy. I mean, he's awesome. I appreciate him coming out. Kind of saved me.
You were telling me that, when you didn't know what to expect meeting him.
Oh, yeah.
When you come in and...
I had no idea. He's from, Louisiana, played at Alabama. And like I said, I'm from California, played in Colorado. So it's two completely different, genres. But, our personalities just mix. And, he's a great guy. He's really cool.
Well, appreciate
Glad to have
him
him aboard.
Yeah, appreciate having him come out tonight. And make sure you mention that to him. We have to get to our injury report. I don't want to end on a sour note because it was another rough day for you guys on the injury front yesterday. Our Compass Land Consultants injury report brought to you by the good people at Compass Land Consultant with hunting season right around the corner. Compass Land Consultant here to help you out for that vacant land, the hunting property, or timber investments. Just like the Packers need an entire team of great players to be successful, you need a team of experts working for you when buying that perfect property. Compass Land Consultants has a team of experts ranging from real estate brokers to appraisers to professional foresters, all with the knowledge you need when searching for land. Let them put their team to work for you. Give them a call, 800-548-6933, or check them out at clclands.com. Well, the wide receiver position hit hard yesterday. You guys are down to two active guys out in the game. Randall Cobb and James Jones went down. Coach McCarthy did say today that they're hopeful James can play, which I'm sure is encouraging news considering, like we mentioned, two healthy receivers if he can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then injuries, and I'll say it, injuries are one of the toughest things to talk about because they happen, they're a part of the game, and for you guys, it is next man up. Just go out there, do your job, and get it done.
I was a prime example of it.
Yeah.
Brian was starting left tackle and freak injury. Asked for me, coaches asked me, all right, your turn to step up. Like I said, it's one opportunity. You want to make the most of your opportunity, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. And and at the same time, also kind of enjoy it a little bit. As much as it is your job, it's very stressful. You got to have a little bit of fun. So that's just kind of how I've kind of gone through this crazy journey so far.
It's a good approach. It's the approach you're taking to the show, too. Have a little bit of fun with us, right?
Yes. And, I've had a little more just a little bit, so I need to tone it down a little.
No, you don't.
I bring it back.
Let it go. Let's just let it
we have to be serious.
Let it go. Okay. Well, back to the injuries. Randall Cobb, it's going to be a little bit for him. There were some reports today. I saw 2 weeks, 4 weeks. I know it came out broken fibula, I believe. 6 to 8 weeks is what it could be for Randall Cobb. And then Nick Perry broke his foot, and he's going to be out for some time, too. We saw the receiver injuries. I think the Perry one was the one that kind of crept up on everybody because I don't think people realized he was hurt.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Casey Hayward, Jarrett Bush, and Brad Jones all out, hoping to get those guys back. Clay Matthews is going to be a little bit for him still, fighting through. And then James Starks, Greg Van Roten as well. The hit on Randall Cobb. What did you think of it?
In all honesty, I haven't really even seen the hit.
Okay.
I've seen Randall, and I just kind of always give him a hug, make sure he's all right. I didn't know what happened. All I know is I just saw him on the ground. I was like, oh God, what happened? And I was too busy just blocking someone, which I should be doing. But I just heard that it was bad, and then Aaron on the field was getting after it, with the refs, and then. In the Ravens, and I was kind of sitting there trying to key in to everyone, trying to figure out, all right, what happened really. Because I don't. Was there a flag?
There was no flag. He
that's
went
why
low.
I had no idea.
He hit Cobb in the knee with his helmet, which is, I guess, from the defensive side of things, you're so worried about not going to the head. The whole idea is low, but you don't want to go too low because you don't want to go after knees.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Knees are scary, just like a head injury is.
It's a rough game. Injuries are part of the game, and it's physical, and
there's
that's
three,
what you sign up for.
We just know
right?
Rob Davis said there's three guarantees. Gonna get injured. I forget. I think he said the second one, you're gonna get taxed. you're going to get fired. Like, those are the 3 guarantees the NFL is going to give you.
The middle one's probably the worst, right?
I mean, all 3 of them are good.
Cleveland coming up this week, and I know when the schedule came out, a lot of people, okay, home game against Cleveland, but it's the NFL. You can't take anybody lightly, and Cleveland's been playing good football here the last few weeks. They got a good defense.
You're in the NFL for like each team. They play in National Football League. They're going to be good, and then Cleveland has a good run in it. But we're the Green Bay Packers, and we'll come show up. Put on a good performance come Sunday.
Defensively, they've put up some good numbers this year, and I don't want to say a no-name defense, but there's not really any players that stand out. Last week going up against Terrell Suggs, Elvis Dumerville. I know you have your hands full there, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know anything about Cleveland, to be honest with you, David.
We're still on our, Monday. We got our victory Monday, so we had a day off. So I can't say that I am, as caught up as I should be, but don't worry. Everything will be all right.
Well, we'll do it again in a couple of weeks. It was great to talk about a victory with you.
Yeah,
as I mentioned, the last
good
2
timing.
times.
Hopefully this trend keeps on continuing, where me and House just switch off on win after win after win.
Yeah, that's the good streak to get on right there. Yeah,
exactly.
As you mentioned, first win for the Packers in Baltimore, by the way, since 1974, although there was only 1 game between the two. So it's kind of a weird stat that even people are throwing out there. But, David, it's been a lot of fun again, as always, and we'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks, all right?
I had fun, of course.
All right, guys, David Bakhtiari, Packers left tackle. Big thanks to Eddie Lacy. Also, Justin Hull with you as we wrap things up from Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly in the Huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network.